It's a wonderful morning coming to you from our studios on Kairaba Avenue. I am Ibrahim Abalde. We're broadcasting from the Gambia, West Africa, and this is QTV this morning. It's good to be here on this platform again and, to bring you all the happenings, the, ups and downs, and of course, social issues, community watch, newspaper review. And I am joined by Mr. Ade Drame. Mr. Ade, good morning.
Good morning, Ibrahim. And I must say, you're looking very dapper today.
Oh, dapper.
I feel underdressed
Wow.
seeing you with your tie and looking very smart, I must say.
Thank you. Ade is an Englishman, and, Englishmen love, good dressing, especially when you dress the English way.
We appreciate it.
Yes, exactly. So, today we are going to talk about Tobaski. It's Arafah. And we'll be saying labbaik Allahumma labbaik labbaik la sharika laka labbaik innal hamda wa ni'mata laka wal mulk la sharika lak. It's important. It's a very significant day. And Muslims are standing on Arafah today, and Arafah is believed to be one of the significant performances that a Muslim have to go through when you go on Hajj.
Indeed.
Yes.
We heard, I think it was Aja Aduletsi, in one of the reports said that if you don't, if you're not at Arafah, then your Hajj is not complete. And we also heard that from Alhaji Babakar Sisi.
Exactly.
It's extremely important, of course.
Exactly. Yes. Arafah, even if you are sick or even if you are unwilling, people are there to help you, at least
well,
for
if
you
you're
to
unable,
fulfill,
I wouldn't say unwilling. If you've gone
exactly.
there, you're probably
if you are
willing.
unable, rather.
Yes, yes.
People are there to help you so that you can perform your Arafah.
So we've heard of people being taken there on wheelchairs and even from their hospital beds taken there so that they can be there to validate their Hajj. So yes, it's extremely important.
Absolutely. So we will be looking at Tobaski ram sales as well, and our reporters and of course our cameramen are in town. Looking at what's happening.
Cameramen and women.
Cameramen and women, looking at, and we cannot say Tobaski too without looking at the ferry crossing. People are crossing.
It's part of the tradition.
Mr. Ade, I'm surprised today. The town is dead.
It's empty. It's seriously empty.
Did you realize that?
I realized that, and I think it's empty because last night I left here around 9 o'clock, 9 p.m. And the traffic was just the worst that I've recalled at 9 o'clock at night, and it seemed that people were trying to get out of town, as it were, to go to their towns and villages of origin, and that's become a bit of a tradition. And I guess this morning there'll be the rush at the ferries, of course, for those who've left it till this morning. Yeah.
Absolutely. So we are urging all drivers to drive safely.
Sure.
You have to know how to drive, and know that the life you save might be your own.
Sure.
And these are events and feasts that people rush to go up and down. So you have to know how to protect the lives of the people on board.
And I'm glad that you've mentioned that, because for those of us who live along Coastal Road, we will know that the highway leading to the airport has now been opened to traffic because they were a bit concerned about the temporary roads with the rain seasons and how they became impassable. But we've seen some reckless driving even on this sort of newly opened highway, to the extent that this morning there were police there checking on people and actually telling people to slow down. And so, as you say, I think people do need to drive carefully.
Exactly. People need to be careful when doing this. And Mr. Ade, our African proverb reads today, let not what you cannot do tear you from what you can do. It's a quote, actually, not a proverb. Let not what you can do tear you from what you can do.
And sometimes we're all guilty of this. If I dive in here, you have things planned, and then you see something else. Rather than complete the task that you have kind of 3/4 or 9/10 completed, you go after something else. You say, "Oh, I'll try that instead." Rather than do that which you had already set out in the first place to try and accomplish. So, as I said, myself, I think most people listening or watching have probably been guilty of that at some time at some point in their lives. And so it's a very wise one. You say it's a quote more than a proverb, but I think it's something that people should actually look at and digest. Let not what you cannot do tear you from what you can do. So I can accomplish this. Let me accomplish it, rather than reaching for something else that I might not be able to accomplish.
Absolutely.
And then become disappointed.
But definitely, I think that's it. I mean, I think what you cannot do, you need to put extra effort on what you cannot do, But what you can do, make sure, keep doing it well.
And do it well. If something ain't broke, don't fix it. But also, I think, you could take it to a work situation where people, sometimes we joke with colleagues and we say, stay in your lane. Do the work that is your work. Yeah. Don't try and do a colleague's work because you look at it and you think it's easy. You work in, I don't know, you're a reporter and you think, this cameraman business is easy. I'm going to do that. And then until you try and do it and you realize it's not. So, do what you can do and do it well. And don't try and do somebody else's. But like I said, we've all been guilty of it, of kind of straying from our lane. So, sometimes we joke with colleagues and we say, stay in your lane, but really we mean it. Stay in your lane. Do your own work and do it well. Don't try and do my job and do it badly.
Exactly. Do your job well. And we'll take a short break. After the break, the program will continue. We'll be looking at Tobaski ram sales, and we have our colleague Hadinyang. She will be outside, looking at the cost of rams this year.
And she'll be interacting with some of the buyers and sellers.
Exactly.
Yep.
And Aliou Cisse will be at the Banjul Ferry Terminal to give us what's happening there.
Indeed.
So we'll take a short break. After the break, the program will continue. We'll be back.
Technology has always been at the forefront of our lives, and the way we use it has evolved drastically over the years. With the advent of 5G internet, we are entering a new era of technological innovation that promises to transform the way we live, work, and play. 5G internet is capable of providing data speeds up to 100 times faster than 4G, making it the ideal solution for streaming high-quality videos, playing online games, and downloading large files on the go. 5G internet is already transforming cities across the globe, powering smart cities, self-driving cars, and virtual reality experiences that were once thought impossible. 5G internet is also paving the way for Internet of Things, allowing for seamless connectivity between devices and the creation of a truly connected world. For the first time in the Gambia, QCell is bringing tomorrow's technology to you today with the launch of QCell 5G Internet. Get ready to experience the out-of-this-world wonders of QCell's 5G Internet. For more information, call 111. QCell. We innovate, others follow.
The future is now with QCell's 5G network. Experience speeds like never before with our new 5G Rocket Fixed Internet plan. Get speeds from 10 Mbps to 100 Mbps. Your 5G-enabled devices. Walk into QCell headquarters to get one of our 5G routers and experience the true feeling of 5G. Only with QCell. QCell brings you the future. Tech, innovation, incredible speed. The future is now. For more information, call our customer care on 111. QCell, Sunyabus. We innovate, others follow. Terms and conditions apply.
QCell brings you...
We are back, and this is QTV this morning. Now, we have some stories on the Foria newspaper. Let's take a look at Tobaski ram sales. And buyers lament high cost of Tobaski ram. And Foria is asking, poverty or inflation? Rams without buyers.
Yes, I mean, that could be a story that could have been repeated ever since I came to the Gambia. And of course, it's only when I came and we were doing a story, and I said to one of my colleagues, I said, you realize that it's only called Tobaski here and in Senegal. And in Sierra Leone, we've never heard the word Tobaski. We don't even know what it means. It's Idul Adha, you know. But this thing about ram sales and them being expensive is one that we hear a lot, and we hear every year. It's an annual thing. People say they're expensive. And some people say, I leave it till the last minute to buy, because then the guys don't want to take them all the way back to Bissau or to Senegal.
Yeah.
And they sell them cheaply. But some people don't want to take that risk, They want to buy it in advance. I know somebody who, she told me that herself and her husband went up country 4 weeks ago to buy their ram, and it was very cheap. I don't even dare say the amount they paid because it was so cheap that they were shocked. And she said, just as a tester, they contacted the same person that they bought it from, and that person was asking 10,000 more than they paid 4 weeks ago. And that's the thing that, you know, so sometimes it's a bit unrealistic, and in terms of they can't justify the sudden jump in price. You know, you bought it 4 weeks ago for a certain amount, and now all of a sudden 4 weeks later, 5 weeks later, it's 10,000 more for a ram from the same seller, by the way. You know, so of course people will lament. People will complain about the cost because it seems exorbitant. And you wonder if these guys don't want to sell. You know, come down a bit and sell everything, you know, rather than keep it high and you complain, oh, I'm left with all my rams unsold. Well, you know.
Well, I think, Mr. Ade, people are not realistic when it comes to selling sometimes. No matter how costly ram is, I mean, up country, I mean, it shouldn't, they shouldn't, I mean, you know, sell rams to that cost. I mean, no. They are very expensive. We might say when you rear animals, maybe in the greater Banjul area, might be very expensive. You might buy food, you might buy, you know, other things for the animal. But for up country, normally they leave their animals to go and graze on the land. Yep. You know, so those are things that should be considered. I mean, I think we also should learn as a country or as a people to be able to rear our own animals. Maybe you buy one or two. See, I mean, put it in your compound.
Well, this is the thing, sorry to jump in there, but you've just mentioned something about rearing our own animals. Just last week, the Vice President launched this livestock policy, and they said it was the first of its kind in this sub-region. Because one of the things he mentioned was rams, and he said we should be rearing and breeding our own rams rather than importing so many. And, you know, somebody in the audience asked, well, you know, why is it that all these years later we know that this is something that's an annual occurrence, and yet all you see is people bringing in rams from other countries? Why don't we get some of those rams and start breeding, you know, here? And so this is part of what that policy is trying to address. But I think it will take a while, maybe 4 or 5 years before we'll see the impact of it. But it's about time it happened, because I can remember
when during my childhood days, I mean, when I was very young, my father bought a ram for $5,000, and that was like he bought it for $50,000 to me. Yeah, it was very expensive because by then you go out to the abattoir and buy a ram for 1,900 or sometimes 1,500. If it's at the high price, you buy it for 1,900. You know, but when he came the other time and said, I bought this ram for 5,000, we were like, this is super expensive. Shocked, we didn't know time will come we're going to buy rams for 26,000, 30,000, 40. That's it. You know, there's a ram that I saw, they said it's selling for 120,000.
Oh, wow. That's a super ram.
Who's going to buy that?
Who's going to buy that? Somebody who has a lot of money, and it must be something special about that ram for it to be sold at that price. But you're right. I mean, the prices have gone up, and people, you know, in many cases, people's pay has not gone up to the same level. You know, so what are they going to blame it on? You can't blame it on COVID. You can't blame it on the Russia-Ukraine war. They will always find a reason. Oh, you know, the feed is expensive, or this is expensive. Well, you know, you end up left with something that you can't sell because you've set the price too high. But, you know, I find that in many other things. You know, when I was looking to replace my car, I went, there was one particularly nice car that I saw, and I said to the guy, we started arguing. He wouldn't come down in price. So I just asked casually, I said, how long have you had this car in your display for sale? He said, for 4 years. I said, you don't want to sell it. I said, you've had it for 4 years. I'm giving you what is a decent price, and you're telling me no. I said, you're just giving it for show. That's ridiculous. You know, come down to a reasonable, sell it. How can you keep a car for 4 years unsold? Exactly. And you call yourself a car salesman?
Well, even most people now, I can even see the one selling ram blaming the Russia-Ukraine war.
Yeah, of course.
How is that thing connected?
Well, people, some of the feed and some of the fertilizer comes from those places. So, you're going to get that. But yeah, I mean, people will latch onto anything. As I said before that, it would have been COVID-19. They would have said, oh, it's because of the pandemic. But now, conveniently, people can say, oh, it's because of the, Russia-Ukraine war.
There was I think last year, year before last, I bought my ram Tobaski Day. Mr. Ade, surprisingly, I got it very cheap.
This is what some people do. Yeah.
But last year, I wanted to do the same strategy. I went to the abattoir and I found out all rams were sold. Oh, there was nothing left, even one.
Which abattoir? Abuko?
Yes.
Wow.
They exhausted all the rams. Nothing was left. In fact, at some point I thought they took the rams back. Yeah. They didn't sell all of them.
Wow.
But Mr. Ade, let's take a look at how simple this thing is. For me, if I bring my ram and someone offered me like 8,000, and I know, okay, fine. If I did not sell this ram, I am going to return this thing back to Daru Jollof or Futa Jollof.
Yeah, quite.
Why don't I just sell it and get the money? Maybe go without any hassle.
And as you rightly say, because if you multiply that, because some of them come with 5, 10, 15 rams, they don't just come with one ram. So, if you sell 5 of them, that's 40,000, but if you take them back, and you don't sell them, it means you probably have to wait till next year. Bless you, mother. Good. You have to wait till next year before you get a chance to sell them. In the meantime, for that year, you're still feeding them. You're still, you're incurring all the cost.
I'm told Hadi is on the line.
Wonderful, wonderful.
We'll now try to connect Hadi Nyang, and she will tell us what's happening around town.
And Hadi, this is not the Wagan show.
Yes. Good morning, Hadi. Naka nga def?
Jama rek Balde naka nga def?
Ñu ngi la dalal.
maa ngi leen nuyu di nuyu jamono bi ñi nga xam ne ñu ngi seetaan this morning programme man la Hadi Nyang Thiam maa ngi fii right now soriwuma dara ak masjidu Taqwa maa ngi fii ci Ranobat bi sorombe BS school di wan rek Gambien si ne xar yi bari nañ fii ci dëkk bi right now lu waay am rek di nga am xar maa ngi ànd ak suma caméraman Abdou maa ngi leen di nuyu yéen ñi nekk tam control room
dëgg la xar yi fuñ toolu dañ bëggoon rek nga doxantu nga cegal ñu xar yi fuñ toolu
waaw gis nga maa ngi taxaw ak benn pol sa mbokk la salaamaaleykum.
salaamaaleykum.
na mbaa doon. dama gis yaa ngi téye xar yi taxaw ni dafa am ñu ko moom wala da ngaa jaay.
dama leen jaay de.
jaay nga ko ba pare.
déedéet tooguma de damay jaay.
bii ñaata la ni.
bii jox ma 18.
18
waaw.
18 seer na de baaba.
seerul de fere bi moo bëri.
fere baa bëri.
waaw fere bi moo bëri.
yal na jërë jaama.
amiin
boo Hadi dama bëgg nga seetal ma xar yi. won leen ma xar yi. xar yi laa bëgg a gis.
wan ko xar bi Abdou mu ne 16 la xar bi.
last price.
18 mu ne 18 la 18000. waaw yow bi nga téye nii bii ñaata la.
185. waaw 185. 18 na ngeen.
tur bi nan la.
man Abu Diallo.
Diallo Jéeri.
daa
nga wax Balde Banna.
Balde Banna na nga def.
jaaraama
inshallah. aarikallah. nañu yàlla defal jàmm.
Balde yaa ngi dégg kii mu ne bile 18 la. kele mu ne bele 18500 la.
waaw gis nañ ko fu mu nekk nii xar yi fuñ toll.
xar yaa ngi nii bari nañ fi de.
waaye boo Hadi foog nga ne xar yi dinañ jeex.
yaakaaruma xar yi dinañ jeex de parce que ni ma gisee xar yi nii.
waaw
yaakaaruma ne Balde xar yi dinañ jeex waaye dama fi gis xar yoo xam ne. xar yu mag la dama am pour dem laaj ñi. xar yi ma seen moom. xam naa ku ko eew sa kër moom doon na ma dara salaamaaleykum.
waaleykum salaam suma sista.
waaw broda Jaama na ngeen def.
maa ngi nii rek.
yaa ngi ok.
waaw.
xar yi nag.
waa xar yi ñu ngi fi de xanaa seer moom. seer nañ moom CFA bi moo ko waral nag.
CFA baa ko waral.
waaw dëgg.
bi maa gis nii moom ñaata la.
waaw bii suma boy bi moo ko eew fii nag moom ñu ngi koy waxaale price bi nag daanaka 60 lañ see wax rek.
60000. Abdou wanal ma ko xar yi
60.
waaw bii 60 la.
60.
Abdou wanal ma ko xar bi bu 60 bi. waaw xam naa ko am 50 di nga ko war a am.
waaw ku am 50 moom mun nañ see waxaale sax. waaw.
Balde xanaa bi dina baax pour yow de
bii moom de suma boss dina baax pour man.
Mohamed Jana jamono ji moo nga ca Màkka. waaw.
ay waay Samba. waaw.
léegi bu ngeen ooyee Mohamed Jana kan ngeen di oowaat.
gannaaw loolu mun na ñëw brodaam bi docteur Dia waaw man ñooñu moom xam naa leen mun na ñëw jaay gaay xar yi wala ñëw ñu jaay leen ko rek waaw waaw
bi 60 mooy laas bi ci sa ginnaaw nag
waaw bi nekk suma gannaaw ni bii moom 35 lañ see waxaale waaw bi baax na waaw bi 35 la ak bële tamit 35 la
well that's 35,000 35,000 ram well
waaw bu ko defee rek ñu continuer rek doxantu wan leen xar yi jamono ji rek ñu ngi fii boori BS school xar yi fees nañ del fii ba si Johnson yi GRTS bi yëpp xar la di won askan wi rek ne bu leen tiit bu leen ragal xar yi bari nañ te yaakaaruñ xar yi dinañ jeex lu waay amal yaakaar ne sa doom yi sa njaboot gi dinañ tabaski gis ngeen li yëpp xar la li ngeen a gis ni yëpp xar la soo demee tam si sa right side bi gis ngeen xool leen lii léegi lañ wàcca am naa ñiy seetaan tiitatuñ jamono ji dinañ gis ne xar yi bari nañ si dëkk bi te wax dëgg yàlla nit ñi expectuñ woon ne d'ici xar dina bare ni
dëgg la boss Hadi I mean xar yi foog naa ne nit ñi mu ngi mel ni movement amul de boss Hadi gisuma client yi
waaw si client yi laay dem nii maa ngi gis Sista Bele yaaga naa ko bàyyi xel mu ngi round fii dama bëgg a dem laaj ko ndax moom dafa amagut lu mu jëndee wala xar yiñ ko wax dafa seer na ngeen def bro da nga ñëw pour jënd xar
waaw
mbaa yomba na si yow
right now fale gars yi mu ngi wala tàng nag foofu nag waaw ñu ngi laaj ay 35 ay 45 ay 27 ay 28 you know waaw so you know ana ñu ngi xar yàlla de
yàlla baax
na
waaye nu xar yi bëree nii tamit yaakaar ngeen ne war naa jafe noonu
okay well I mean exactly I think you know I mean you've heard what the sellers are saying
and the buyers are not impressed.
Exactly.
I think the 28,000, 35, 45, that's a lot. If you look at how much people get paid, for some people that's 3, 4, 5, 6 times their monthly wage. That's quite a lot, to expect them to pay just for a ram, and there's always this pressure, this kind of societal pressure
absolutely
to buy the ram, and people kind of look down on you if you don't, so people go out of their ways, they take loans, they do all sorts of things just to meet the pressure that there is upon them, and
it's one day, but
less.
I mean people forgot, I mean there's life after Tobaski. I think
it's
I mean, enjoy your Tobaski fine.
I said to somebody, I said, you were complaining about your daughter's school fee, and yet you're about to spend half of what that school fee was on buying a ram. And then the following week you'll be complaining that you can't pay your daughter's school fee. I said, that's not right. That cannot be right. And you cannot really justify that. But he wasn't impressed, let me say, with me pointing out that, but it's true.
Well, I mean, the only thing that the individual is saying is to make sure spend on Tobaski, no matter what you say. But I think Tobaski, most of it's Gambia, Senegal, Guinea. It's not the way other countries, celebrate Eid al-Adha.
In Sierra Leone, they do, but we don't. Like I said, we don't call it Tobaski. But the whole thing with buying the rams, slaughtering the ram, that still goes on in a big way in Sierra Leone, and certainly even in parts of Liberia, which has a sizable Muslim population.
I'm just informed Hadi is back on the line. Let's talk to Hadi Nyang. Boss Hadi? Well, it's like I'm hearing Hadi Nyang.
She's having a conversation, yeah.
Yes. Waaw boss Hadi booy dégg rek waaw soo ñëw naka la fa tooloo client yaa ngi ñëw
dafa mel ni gis naa ku fay de salaamaaleykum bro
non sister moo jënd xar demel si moom sister wale
ku ko jaay xar bi
man maa ko jaay xar
mbaa seeru
fukk ak ñett
12,000
12,000
10,000 ak ñaari 1,000 waaw muy 12,000 ban la jënda
lii la jënd
Abdou won ko xarit
ana bu mu jënda That one goes for 12,000.
Sister Bele moo jënd xar bi ñu ne 12,000 la ko amee.
Well, that's not a bad one.
Ngeen jëf yal na Yàlla fay la. Waaw sonn ngeen de lan mooy seen coono.
Waaw ndax dañoo jógee Sénégal ba fii gannaaw Koungheul ba fii ñu ngi isi suñu kar coono bi ak fere bi dafa bari ak ngooñ bi fii lenn mooy problème soo soxlee lekk sax doo am foo lekk. Santa Baye sonn nañ fi torop ngeen jàppale ñu lu loolu restaurant.
ren yóbbu leen seen xari Sénégal.
Sénégal ankay Sénégal la ñu jaar waaw jaay ñii dañoo jóge ci kaw ñëw jaay ci suñ luumo yi ñu ne ñu jëndal foofu indi biir Gambi pour jàppal 19 daal dañoo 19 loolu moo am fii wallaay.
jërë ngeen jëf
jërëjëf.
thank you.
waaw mu ngi mel ni xar boobu bonut de.
papa. ah.
mu ngi mel ni xar boobu baax na de.
da ngaa jaay.
waaw damaa jaay.
bii ñaata la.
bii maa ngi ko jaay fukka benn.
11,000. waaw wan ko xar bu 11,000 Abdou. Balde gis nga bu mu téye ni mu ne 11,000 la.
waaw that one is going for 11,000.
yow fan nga jógee ñëw.
man maa ngi jóge Diourbel.
Diourbel.
waaw foofu laa dëkk.
bii rek nga indi.
déedéet li ma indi jeex na de.
jeex na bii rek a des.
waaw benn bi moo des de.
ñaata xar nga indi woon.
man ten rek laa indi woon.
fukki xar rek nga indi woon.
waaw fukki xar rek laa indi woon.
juróom-ñeent yëpp dem nañ benn moo des.
waaw moo des.
léegi 11 nga laaj ko am 10 nag dina baax.
bii moom léegi rek mooy laas ndax ferment bi dafa bari. oui affaire bi seer na yoon bi neexut yëpp dañ dee laaj ay laaj si nag yooyu waaw.
jërëjëf. kon Balde mu ngi mel ni dégg ngeen li nga xamante ne rek loolu lañ nekk di jotee.
waaw
ci nit ñi fi gis ngeen xar yi.
waaw
kon na mën a ñëw waxam.
boobu ñaata la.
bëgg naa xam bi nii ñaata la bi biñ ma woon nii naka nga def.
naka.
xar bi ñaata la.
bi 45 la.
45,000. ku am laas ñaata ngaa indi.
quasi 43 rek.
ku indi 40 di nga ko am. yow fan nga jëlee sa xar yi.
bi Misra.
Misra nga jógee nga ñëw Gambia.
non bu ñaatu laa nekk ñoomi laa nekk waaye Misra nga ko jëndee.
kon bële nag bele belum kuy bele mel ni nag ne la.
di seen.
Balde xam naa bii moom ku ko eewoon sa kër.
boo sadi boobu am dara la
madame du waxati dara de
ma ne boobu am dara la.
waaw. am dara la de bii mu ne 40 la.
waaw
45 la ku am 40 bii tam 45 la ku am 40 di nga ko am.
lii moom affaire la waaye nag boo
borom paaka kaay. na nga def. Balde.
waaw
buñ ne xar wax paaka de.
waaw. soo amul
buñ ne xar wax paaka de.
boo ne xar wax paaka de.
gisoon naa waagaan demoon na jënda paaka ba pare te amagul xar.
waagaan moom noonu rek.
jënda paaka ba pare ñoo ñu ne ko xar yi jeex nañ.
ma ne ko noonu rek waagaan.
waaw. gis ngeen biñ maa wan ni. dinaa laaj léegi seen borom bii ñaata la xam naa bii moom 100 lañ maa wax si bii.
boobu 120 la.
na nga def. yaa ngi am jàmm.
sant yàlla bu wér.
xar bi ñaata la.
bii maa ngi si laaj 75.
Balde bi yomb na de 75.
waaw yomb la def ba dee.
moom sax nu mu ko waxee dafa yomb.
xar yi fii la juddoo. Gambi ji fii.
Gambi la juddoo fi la yoroo fi la màggee.
fi la màggee 1 year 4 months. waaw. xale bu ndaw la.
am dara la kay. du ngeen ma ko yeewal ma yóbbu ko.
waaw. dompati topp la. waaw.
am na solo naka la.
cool bii bosam la man suma yos yaa ngi ne de.
yow sa yos bëri na bu ñuul bi.
waaw bu ñuul bi fii la jógee. waaw
xar yëpp Gambie lañ juddoo.
waaw fii lañ juddoo xanaa xarit poli yi daal ñoo jógee fële.
waaw client dinañ ñëw. client dinañ ñëw incha allah. bu ngeen yombalee rek gaay ñëw.
waaw incha allah dina yomba xay tey rek moo si des. waaw
kon fu mu nekk fii ba guddi lu waay am rek di nga am xar.
lu waay am di nga am xar daal.
waaw Balde gis nga ba tey fii yëpp xar la. fii ba Johnson BS boo rombee school bi yëpp xar la. gis nga fii yëpp nga gis ni ay xar la.
waaw. mu ngi mel ni xar yi moom bëri na de.
waaye nag def bi nga téye ni ñaata la.
di 70.
75.
17,000.
17,000. Balde bi baax na 17.
anamu.
waaw bii baax na 17.
17,000.
waaw man li ma jaaxal mooy man ñiy jaay lay gis waaye gisaguma ñuy jënd ana jëndkat yi.
kenn ñëwaangul.
jëndkat yi ñëwul.
xëy na gars yi ñoo amul xaalis nag dëgg bi mu amul xaalis.
dañuy ñëw last day dañu foog bu ñëwee last minute yi dafa lamba dañuy wanteer mais ren wanteer kenn du wanteer.
even bu dee last day la tamit ñëwuñ tamit du ngeen wanteer. ay yéen di ngeen bëgg a indi xar yi delloowaat ko.
waaw waaw. delloo tàggat
fii lañ juddoo fii lañ yoroo.
kon su jarute tam na ngeen di delloowaat rek.
delloowaat rek waaw. xar yi seer na.
yow nag jënduloo.
non man dama jaay ay ripaas ak basi ak mboq yi noonu laa nekk di jaay mais bagage yi boppam ñoo métti ngooñ bi ripaas bi coox bi xar yi te gis nga ren daral gi nu melee nii ren daal client yi mu ñëwaguñ bu baax.
xëy na gars yi ñu ne last day la gars yi di ñëw xëy na dinañ ñëw.
waaw te tey leen wax ni moom moo nekk last day bi ba ëllëg dañuy julli te tey moom yaa ngi gis ñi nga xëy nii toog di naan.
xam naa xar yi des fi di la arrangé ndax sa ngooñ mi jar.
waaw man moom li gars yi jëlee moom mu gën a baax.
ak ripaas.
waaw
repas bi noonu la seeree repas bi moom lay war a wàññi repas bi daa seer. ak ngooñ bi daa seer.
te loolu saa yu ne da ngeen koy jënd pour jox ko xar yi.
ngooñ mi léegi 1005 tey.
te ñu ngi nii di leen wante.
ngooñ mi 1005 coox bi 1003. lépp xalo xari suur lañ def xale bu ndaw lañ xale yu ndaw.
kon Balde.
waaw
dafa mel ni dinaa tàggatoo ak yéen fii. pour won rek askani réew mi ne xar gi ñu ngi fees del fii ci boori booy dem si stadium bi rek boo rombee bi school.
waaw
ba nga àggee masjidu taxwa fii yëpp xar la. wax dëgg.
waaw mu ngi mel ni boos Hadi.
gis nga ba ci biir jël ma ba ci biir Abdou léeg-léeg yëpp xar la.
mu ngi mel ni client yaa ngi xaw a dawaangum ba si ngoon.
waaw client yi daw nañ de because ñoom ñu ne jaaykat yi li ñu wax mooy dañu wane ne all the time gars yi dañ dee mujjee ñëw last minute xëy na bu ñëwee last minute dinañ fekk xar yu yomba waaye tamit ñu ngi wane ne su ñëwee last minute tamit duñ wanteel seen xar yi ku jënd baax na ku jëndu dañoo delloo seen xar yi seen kër yi.
waaw. jërëjëf boos
ba ne la ngaa gis si Johnson bi yëpp xar la gis nga ba fële ci kaw tali bi yëpp xar la.
fii waruloo fi ñëw nga ñaakaa ñibbee xar. ma ne fii soo fi ñëwee foog nga ñibbi ak xar.
waaw waaye war nañoo def nag ndimbal yërmande parce que jamono bi lépp dafa seer boo buggee jënd xar war koo jënde ay 20 something nduga bi ñëwagul yére julli xale yi ñëwaguñ ak yeneen ak yeneen ak yeneen dina xaw a métti lool si ñi nga xam ne seen loxo jotu seen ginnaaw. xam naa yombal xar yi dina yomba ci ñoom ñu indi xar yi ñu mun a jar ñu mun a dema seen xaalis. waaye gàddu xar dëkk ba dëkk dugal ko ci moto indi ko di ko jaayee lu seer jarut nga war ko paasalaat delloowaat ko boole koog ngooñ mi dina métti ci yow mi ñëw jaay.
loolu dëgg la amin soo gisee jaaykat yi tam ñoom tam expenditure buñ dee def si xar yi xam naa loolu moo tax xar yi xaw a éeg waaw because ñoom tam wane nañ ne dañoo jënda ay lekki xar ak yooyu xam naa loolu tam bokk na si li nga xam ne tax na xar yi seer waaw
cox bi dëgg la
so I think it's very important boss Hadi Nyang thank you very much pour waxtaan ak ñun this morning.
jërëjëf Mr. Balde. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. That's Hadi Nyang there, you know, going out and about, looking.
We're grateful to Hadi Nyang because we called her at the last minute because I have to be honest, one of our colleagues was not able to make it.
Yeah.
But she's done a fantastic job there.
Absolutely.
Big up to her.
But Mr. Ade, let's take a look at the prices.
Those prices are,
Mr. Ade,
they're scary.
75, 60. 50.
45. I mean, those are scary prices for most people. If you look at the average wage, and as I was saying earlier, and then you compare to what they're asking for those, most people would have to get somebody to supplement them, for them to be able to buy, and that's really not right. But what can we do about it? Because we still don't rear. And so these people will talk about the cost of rearing, the cost of transportation, from, as you said, from Fouta Djallon to from Bissau, from Senegal. When they cross, they have to pay something as well. So all of that they want to put onto the customer. And because, they don't do it for charity, they want to make a profit. But are some of them trying to make exorbitant profits? I think that's the problem, or that's the question that needs to be asked. And if it is the case, then they need to come down and negotiate. Of course, in Africa we're used to haggling. With people, they say, this is the price, and you say, yeah, what's the last price? And they might say something, and you might meet somewhere in the middle. But when you listen to the prices that we were hearing just then, I'm not sure that even if you came somewhere down the middle, that most people could afford it.
And you know, the mistake that people make sometimes, if you go to the abattoir to buy a ram, I mean, in the midst of all those rams, you cannot, your eyes would only be on the big one, the biggest, you understand? So you wouldn't know which is bigger. So you will be looking at the big one, while there is another one that is cheaper. But I mean, if you take it out from the, from those rams, you will realize that it's also a very cool one.
It's a good one. And as what did our proverb say? Let not what you cannot do tear you from what you can do.
Exactly.
So you might see the one that's more befitting your pocket, but your eyes keep straying to the one that's a lot bigger and beyond your reach.
Exactly.
And you know, it's
but apart from, buying rams, we have a day to go now. Almost the day is going now. Tobaski is here, so we should also share and care. At the end of the time, Mr. Ade, you're my neighbor. You slaughtered your ram. At the end of the time, you should share. This is what Islam says.
I see a lot of that, I have to say. And again, that's a very impressive part of the religion. And about this time, the places that I've stayed in since I came here, coming up to 4 years now, every time they've slaughtered, they've shared with their neighbors, the ones who are not able to afford to buy their own. So that's something that I think is a tradition, and it's a good tradition. And it's long may it continue. Yeah.
Well, I think that will make it easy. I mean, if your neighbor serves you with meat, I mean, that will at least help you, I mean, to manage your day.
Of course, and if you don't have neighbors close by, then you'll be eating ram for the next 5-6 days.
We have Aliou Cissé on the line, and Aliou is at the ferry terminal. The crossing point is very important when it comes to Tobaski and other activities in the Gambia.
Crucial place.
So let's talk to Aliou Cissé. Aliou, good morning. How are you?
Good morning, Balde and Mr. Ade. I'm here at the ferry terminal in Banjul, where just a day before Gambians joined Muslims around the world to observe the Eid al-Adha, local known as Tobaski in the Gambia region. If you're saying from the strong shots up there, that's just the Kunta Kinta ferry. We just arrived here from Para, and you have expected to see more people crossing over to Para to celebrate the Eid with their families. But I mean, we are seeing more people also coming from the other end of the River Gambia, coming to Banjul to celebrate the Eid. I mean, like you said, I mean, these are important events in the Muslim calendar. I mean, it's a day that people actually join their families and loved ones to celebrate this important day. We've been told by officials at the terminal here that since in the morning they have been so busy. I mean, as more people cross over to Para, to their different destinations, whether to be going to, of course, Noni, Senegal, and of course up to Central River region. So right now, where we are right now, this place is jam-packed, and people are in the waiting hall while standing outside, waiting, I mean, to get the clearance to board this Kunta Kinta ferry to Para. But like I said, I mean, from the ground stops, you will have a very good view of exactly what's happening here, Ibrahim Balde.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Aliou Cissé there. So, Aliou, can you tell us, I mean, were you able to engage some of the passengers? I mean, how fast? Yes. How fast is the ferry, and how many ferries are plying that distance?
I don't get you. Come again, please.
What I mean, how many ferries are plying the distance between Banjul and Bara?
Well, moments ago when we arrived here, we saw the Canal ferry departing Banjul to Bara, and as the Canal ferry was departing, I mean, the Kunta Kinta ferry was also approaching Banjul. And like I said, at this moment, I mean, the Kunta Kinta ferry has just arrived here, and the people are now disembarking from the ferry from Bara, and maybe some of them are just coming over to Banjul to do their so one or two things before they go back to Bara and other areas to celebrate the Eid tomorrow. But also we have to understand, I mean, it's now a norm in this country that people don't celebrate the Eid on the same day. Even though some will be celebrating the Eid tomorrow, Wednesday, others are celebrating on Thursday. So that really gives some people more chance now to be able to travel, I mean, to their destination to celebrate the Eid. But like I said, I mean, the staff of the ferry service here are very effective. I mean, they've been so busy since in the morning. I mean, trying to ensure that everybody, I mean, cross over safely to their different destinations.
Exactly. I mean, what is the manner in which, let's talk about the movement of the people. I mean, is it conducive? Are the people moving freely, Aliu?
I would try to get one of the senior staff of the ferry here talking about, how things have been faring here since yesterday. I mean, as far as, the preparation for the Eid is concerned. We would also try to speak to some of the travelers here. To see, what was that impression about how the ferry service is responding? To the number of people that are crossing from both sides of the River Gambia here. But like I said, there's so much anxiety. People are standing with their luggages, like I said, are in the waiting hall, waiting for the ferry to upload the people that have just come from Bara, and then once they get the clearance, then they will go to the other end. But so far, so good. From what we have heard from some of the senior staff or senior personnel of the ferry service is that, things have been going on smoothly here.
Exactly. Things are going smoothly, Mr. Adi. Do you have anything?
Yeah, Ali, you said when you got there, what's the sort of traffic like leading up to the ferry terminal? I don't know if you can hear me.
Well, like you said, the traffic here is just unbearable. But this is a norm, like I said, here at the ferry terminal. When we arrived, we saw the kind of like ferry moving, and even when we arrived, Mr. Ade, it was so difficult for us to have access to this place where we are now at the main terminal, because we have quite a number of people in tens and hundreds outside of the main gate, also trying to make their way into this place where we are. But for safety reasons, the staff of the ferry services do not want this place to be overcrowded with people. By right, all these people who are here, they will be in the waiting hall and then wait the clearance to be able to board the ferry. But being what it is, some people, in one way or the other, find their way into this place. And as you can see on the drone source, you see people sitting on the side, even the drivers of these vehicles, lorries around, disembarking from the ferry. They didn't have to be very cautious because we have people standing very close, to the exit point.
Yeah, Aliu, are the staff sort of trying to tell people not to panic and assure them and reassure them that they will all get to travel? I said, are the staff there, the ferry staff, have they been communicating with people to tell them that, look, don't panic, you will all be able to travel, just take your time? Are they managing to get that message across to them?
Yeah, I think for now, the ferry services management is doing everything it can to ensure that everyone actually cross over, to Bara. Like I said, I understand, almost since in the morning, I think the ferries have left Banjul here almost 2 or 3 times now towards Bara. And then, like I said, more and more people are now coming, to cross over. But I can assure you that, from now against the end of the day, going to be able to cross over to Bara. Now that we have the contact with the ferry is running, the canalized ferry, like I said, immediately when we arrive, we saw the canalized ferry departing. So there's that assurance that anyone who is here will be able to cross today.
Exactly. Aliou bëggoon nañ tuuti nga tenkal ñu loolu si kàllaama wolof ñu xam lan moo nekk di xew foofu si Banjul. dañ bëggoon rek nga waxal ñu ko si olof ñu xam lu nekk di xew Banjul.
waaw jërëjëf Ibrahima Bandeh ak Mr Ade comme nu ko waxee rek ñu ngi fii nga xam ne moo nekk Banjul terminal ferry bi nga xam ne ñëpp xam nañ ne suba ak gannaaw suba la Tobaski ci Gambia ak Sénégal comme ñu bari ngeen ko xamee Tobaski waaye ngeen ko xamee si islam Eidul Adha loolu moo nekk di war a am comme na ko nga gisee fii seen screen bi buñ testé gis nañ ne canalized ferry moom départ na dem na jublu Bara waaye gannaaw moom bu mu départé rek gis nañ contesté ferry moom du agsi na indi war na ak ay bari ak ay moto yu bari ñoo leen wax nañ waaye ba léegi mën nañu wax ne ñu bari ñu ngi taxaw fii nga ne moo nekk terminal bi di xaar pour mun a am ferry bi pour mën a jàll dem Bara digaane foofu la daal di jëlee moto jëlee seen moto dem seen dëkk am na ñoo ñu ngi dem ñoonu ñu ngi jàngee dem Sénégal so loolu moo fi nekk di am waaye lu leer ba leer moom moo nekk ñi nga xam ne ñoom ñoo nekk seentu wàll yi ferry services depuis suba ñu ngi fii pour nationné képp ko xam ne ñëw nga fii rek ama nga mën a jàll si jaama dem tali bi li nga xam ne moo nekk bi si jaam.
waaw ñaata ferry moo nekk di daw fu mu nekk nii.
Balde.
ma ne ñaata ferry moo nekk di daw.
Balde.
ma ne ñaata ferry moo nekk di daw.
dégguma la.
ñaata ferry moo nekk di cross at the moment.
waaw fu mu nekk di mën nañu wax ne xam naa ne ñaari ferry because ñun biñu egsee gis nañ ne Kanilai ferry mu ngi doon départ contexte bi ñëw na xam naa loolu dina ko jéem a leeral ak ñi nga xam ne ñoo fi nekk ñoo seen wàllu ferry si pour mën a xam exactement ñaata ferry waaye li ma mën a confirm moo nekk ne xam naa ne Kanilai mu ngi daw contexte ferry boobu mu ngi daw.
all right jërëjëf Aliou Cissé jërëjëf si update boobu.
Thank
you. All right, that's our team there at the Banjul ferry
it's
crossing
always like
point.
this, isn't it?
Yes.
At this time of the year, around Tobaski time, people crossing both ways. The throng of people, you were saying that, people are meant to be in a waiting hall. But if there's one thing I've learned about Gambians since I came to the Gambia is how impatient people are. Myself and Keba Kor were discussing this morning. You see it in traffic. You go into a shop, you go into a bank, people don't want to queue up, they want to jump the queue. People are meant to be in a waiting hall, they're all thronged around because they think, oh, if I don't come here, I'm not going to go. And that's why I was asking the question, are the staff reassuring them that, look, you don't need to do this, you'll all get to go. But of course, everybody wants to go now rather than on the next ferry.
And it's good to, run everything in order to make sure everybody gets what they are supposed to get. There's no need to hustle and scramble.
And when you scramble, there's a reason why in some places they have order, because it makes things run smoother. Last night when I was going home, when we got towards the Sukuta traffic light, the police were directing because there's a patch where there's a lot of water, and so vehicles only go one way, and people didn't want to wait. So what should have been a single lane ended up with 4 lanes of people, and of course because you're driving either side of each other, you're then trying to cut in when you get to where it squeezes down to where only one car can pass, and of course it slows everything down. What was essentially a 150-meter stretch took us 45 minutes. Honestly.
Well, that's it. At the end of the time, you become your enemy of your own progress. So that's what happened. Mr. Ade, we have also seen when Tobaski approaches and other fests in the Gambia, people move about and go do their prayers at their various, communities.
Home
towns,
which is another thing which was unusual for me.
Yeah, I think for me, for the past 25 years.
Right.
No, I can't say 25 years.
20.
I can say
15?
now for the past 10 years,
right, okay.
I did not pray, in Basse.
Right,
yes,
okay.
I do my Tobaski here. Because
and that was the thing that, again, surprised me, having grown up in Sierra Leone. I grew up in Freetown, but I moved around the country. And suddenly around Eid al-Adha, you didn't get this rush of people saying, I'm going to my hometown, I'm going to my home village. I was never aware of that. A few people did, of course, but not to the extent that you get here in the Gambia. It's quite a thing, as we saw from those fantastic shots that we got from the drone shot. There you saw the throng of people coming off the Kunta Kinte and the ones waiting to get on, and again,
and I've learned a lot too. It's like most of the inhabitants of this urban area, they are from the rural area.
That's the point.
You can feel that. You can feel that touch. When I was driving to work today, I saw the streets were empty. The traffic wasn't jammed. I was like, wow.
There's a couple of things for that. People have gone to their local towns and villages, but also the schools are closed as well, which helps. Sort of clear the streets, as it were. But you're right, and it's certainly something that I've commented on time and time again, this sense that people have a home village or a hometown that they want to get to at a time like this to spend where their roots are from, but you said in the last 10 years you've not gone to Basse. The people of Basse are probably watching and they're complaining now, why is our son, why has our son deserted us?
Maybe it's the good fish of Combo.
Well,
maybe they have good fish here. They have Kong, and Basse we don't have Kong.
This is it.
Basse we have those small fish. So I'm just trying to pull the legs of my people. I mean, the thing is, I have my parents here.
Sure,
I have my mom, my dad here. So it's not wise to go and pray without them. That's a drone shot of Banjul.
Yes, indeed. And you know, most cities look great from the
air. Mr. Adi, that's your capital city right there.
That's the capital city, and
I think 2050. I mean, there will be a huge transformation, as you know. It is promised.
There might even be a new capital.
Exactly. I mean, you know, at some point, people were thinking of why not they move the capital city to Senegambia, Fajara, and you know, the Fajara, the Bijilo. I think you have better infrastructure there.
Yeah, and other African countries have done it, most recently and in a big way in Nigeria, from Lagos to Abuja. But you've also had in Abidjan to Yamoussoukro, you know, in Côte d'Ivoire, from Abidjan to Yamoussoukro. And you've had it in other African countries. It's very rare in Europe, but it's happened in Africa.
It's happening. Yes, all right, I'm told, you know, this is all we have today on this morning. And, you know, Mr. Ade.
It's been all about Tobaski.
Exactly.
And you know, we are saying to people, you know, celebrate it, commemorate it in the right way. Don't overstretch yourself financially. And then when it's all over, you're then wondering, oh, I bought new shoes, new clothes, a ram, and I haven't got things for the the everyday stuff. Don't let it come to that.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, viewers, thank you very much. We'll be back here, and just be reminded, drivers, drive safe. You know, it's make sure the life you save, you never know, might be your own. Happy Tobaski in advance to Muslims and non-Muslims all around, because Tobaski, Muslims and Christians enjoy it together. I invited my Christian friends, to come enjoy the Tobaski. Until we come your way again, have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.